congratulations on finally getting the books, onto the big screen. And I can imagine that you had been approached so many times before. But what was it about Kenneth Branagh? Why is he the right guy to bring this to the big screen?
Well, I think for a start, if you look at his background, he's a master storyteller. And he can go into any genre, whether it's Shakespeare, which I suppose would be considered his first love, but also he can go in, he can be Poirot the next day, and then he can do Thor also. So he can just because the important thing to him is the structure of the story. And if he can find the structure of a story, it doesn't really matter what the genre is. And so when he read Artemis, which he read before Disney approached him, so he knew the books, he had already kind of been thinking about what is the story here? What are the themes here? And for him, the main themes were a child who's trying to save his family. And everything else then is just fairy dust. Once you have that central core of a family struggle, then you have a story that everybody can relate to. And he's kind of a master at pulling that out from deep inside all the distractions that I have in the book.
Yes, yeah, he is fantastic. Such a great director and actor, of course. How hands-on were you, Eoin, with helping with the screenplay, helping choose some of the cast, perhaps? Were you right in there?
I wouldn't say I was right in there. I had like one foot in the door. In that, whenever they asked me to do something, I would do it. But I prefer to let people who are experts work. I'm not an expert in that field, and the writer is a guy called Conor McPherson, who's a very famous playwright in Ireland and around the world. And I was really confident that he could do a good job. I didn't feel I could tell Kenneth Branagh how to direct. And it is very unlike an Irish person to admit he's not an expert in something, but I am admitting now that I am not an expert in directing. We're very confident. My son is 22, and last week he said, "Yeah, I can cut hair." Never cut hair in his life, decided he could do it. And he did. He cut my other son's hair, who just let him cut his hair. And,
All right.
It turns out he's amazing at cutting hair. So
That's
Irish people
funny.
are very confident, but I decided I would let Kenneth go and do it, and luckily I did. Not that I was asked to be the director, but
Understood.
in my mind, I would be the second choice.
Listen, I agree with you. Listen, nobody knows this material better than you. What a fantastic cast. And let's just start with, one of my faves, Colin Farrell, who, by the way, is, the father figure. So he's kind of based on you. So I wouldn't be insulted about that.
Listen, that is exactly the line I took with my wife, Jackie. I said, "Darling, I am Colin Farrell. That's who they picked to play me." And she just, she's not going for it. I can't believe it. I mean, look at this profile. Fantastic. But no, she's not. And I think the problem is that she actually met Colin Farrell. We were at a thing once, so she knows what he looks like up front, up close. And then she looked at him and she looked at me. And for some reason, she started crying. I don't know why she started crying.
Please, come on. And I want to also, in terms of the casting, like I said, we have Josh Gad, Judi Dench. I mean, you've got the greats. But I know it was important for you to make sure that Artemis was played by somebody who was Irish. That was. What did you think after you saw the film and saw him work?
He's amazing. I mean, he's better than I could have hoped for, because he has something that the book Artemis doesn't have, and that he has a twinkle about him. He's just full of life, Ferdia. He's just wonderful, and that would be one reason I'd like to see a sequel, so that we could see Ferdia and Lara, who plays Holly, have that spark again, because they're one of the great screen couplings, I think. And Josh Gad, for my money, Josh Gad is one of the finest comedic actors working today, and the improvising he did, and I think when I watched Artemis, and I know which lines are improvised, I can kind of trace Josh back through all his movies, and you can see, I bet he made that line up. That's so Josh, because I think he's such a treasure, and we're so lucky to get him.
Was there a scene that you were so excited to see come to the big screen that you had written and you couldn't really envision in your head, but something that's really excited for you?
Yeah. There was a scene at the end of the book where everybody is in Fowl Manor, which is Artemis's home, this big medieval manor, and a troll comes flying, is like launched into the house and proceeds to just wreck this beautiful multi-million-dollar mansion in maybe 20 seconds. And it's the climax of the whole book, so I won't tell you how the fight works out. But I just thought, this is going to be, how are they going to make this look real? Because everybody has to look like they're in complete peril. And it's totally dangerous without scaring anybody, because it is a young people's movie. But I'm afraid they ignored the don't scare anybody rule, and they just made it so thrilling and such an exciting part of the book. And you want that third act big dust up, and you get it, you totally get it 100% in this movie. So I was very nervous because it was coming at the end, everything had been going so well, and I thought, well, is this going to be as good as I hope? And it was fantastic. So I'm looking forward.
That's amazing.
For fans of the book especially to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's gonna love this film. And I have to just on a last final note, I understand that one of your favorite TV shows is Schitt's Creek, and being Canadian, I would be remiss not to mention that.
Oh, that is the best television show of all time, and it's the most perfectly cast television show. We just got the last series, so Jackie and I just watched The Wedding 2 nights ago, and we are still
amazing.
Luckily, the only thing that has helping my wife recover is that her husband looks like Colin Farrell. That is the only thing that she can cling on to.
Exactly.
I love that show. I'd love to meet those people.
Well, listen, we'll trade off. You take me and my son for a lunch when I come to Dublin, and when you come to Toronto, I'll hook you up with the cast of Schitt's Creek. How's that sound?
And Rush also. I'd like to meet Rush. That would be great.
Oh, Rush, don't even get me started. Oh my gosh, there are Canadian treasures. Listen, thank you so much first of all, for entertaining children for so many years for these fabulous books. And we really are looking forward to the film. Thank you so much for your time, Eoin, and take care of yourself, stay healthy, and hope to meet you in person someday soon.
Absolutely, in Dublin, absolutely.
You got it. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Bye-bye.